going to move on to the next interception, if that's okay.
Yep.
This one's Humphrey's, a little bit more individual type of play, obviously not within the construct of a zone scheme or anything like that. We're just talking man to man. And I said in the Ravens Discord that his left hand being taped up made him look like a penguin. Like once he intercepted the ball, it almost looked like him and Jefferson were both kind of looking for the ref, like, hey, is this going to be a penalty? He's so, what's the word that I can use here? Oblivious to, well, he's oblivious on social media in a way that's funny, but he plays DB sometimes like it's, like it's like 1997 or 2007. It almost seems to me like he's unaware of the rule set. And I know that there's people who have different opinions on it. I love this move. I think he IDs the route. It's a 3rd and 1. I think he IDs where Jefferson's going to go, and he just intentionally undercuts him. He's not going for where the ball is going to be. He's just trying to basically, we would say, run the route for him. But this is actually him impeding Jefferson's ability to get to the ball, which in this day and age, people are going to complain about, particularly, Vikings fans. If you switch the jerseys, though, to be real, if you switch the jerseys and it was Harrison Smith making this play or Isaiah Rodgers and it was a Ravens receiver, people might complain. I'm a defensive guy, so there, at a certain point in time, it's just I just root for the defense. I think this is a brilliant play, man. Do you see the same type of reaction here, or am I, reading too much into it?
Yeah, right there where you have it frozen, I just look at him and see that he is relaxed. And look at that space out there. I mean, look, he's in a bad way against a good receiver. But look how relaxed, how much space he gives the receiver here. And then I see it as, although the ball's in the air, I see it as him having every right to make a play on the football.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, 100%. I just mean that so many people are used to, well, we don't often touch receivers in this space. And we certainly don't touch them in this intermediate space. And we're used to, I think a lot of people are used to receivers not being touched at all down the field. People look for a flag. I don't really think he was looking for a flag. I don't know exactly what he was doing. Maybe he was trying to figure out, how do I tuck this football with one hand taped up as heavy as it is? I just think it's a brilliant play. He's only got one pick this year. I think one was perhaps called back. He's got a little bit of a return. I'm not really, necessarily going to go through that. This is the end zone angle of the same play. It's a play action. We're, on a 3rd and goals, or 3rd and 1, excuse me. So we're trying to stop the run. We've got goal line group in there. You can see all the guys that are on the field for us. Okoye, I think Jenkins, Jones, and Urban. 2 edge defenders, right? Everyone's walked up into the box because the Vikings are in a heavy personnel group themselves. It's play action. So this is all designed to go to Jefferson.
Yeah.
I don't know at what point Marlon knows this. He knows that it's coming, but there's a point where he recognizes it, and he just plays like the rule set doesn't apply to him sometimes. And I love it. I know that it's annoying at times when we get these, pass interference calls. I like the fact that he's willing to play football. He's willing to compete.
Yeah.
And if you draw a penalty, then so be it. In some of those situations, like that play there, he may actually draw a penalty. Maybe there'll be more contact or the receiver falls in a way. I just love the fact that he cut off Jefferson's angle completely. Like you said, he does have a right to the football, but in this day and age, it's like people think that the only guy who can make a play is the receiver. And right. I love the fact that no middle of the field safety help at all.
Mm-mm.
Jefferson doesn't really have a 2-way go. Jefferson has a 3-way go.
Anywhere. Yep.
Post, dig, vertical, deep out, deep comeback. He could go anywhere he wants to, and Marlon makes this play. He gets a lot of flack for various reasons, some of it warranted, but that right there, I don't think that our other corner, Wiggins, makes that play.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting what you said. I thought it was a great point. It's like when they align on 3rd and 1 and you got everybody up at the line, near the line of scrimmage, how quickly does it occur? Probably right away. It probably occurs to Marlon, watch out. I'm one-on-one. But you can see it's 3rd and 1. He's okay. Seems he's okay with giving up first down there.
Yes, yes.
Even 8 or 10 yards worth.
Although, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's all right. And it's in that regard, he has a sense, I think, that this is going deep. They're taking a shot.
His personality is obviously different, and some of the ways he presents on social media, whatever. In some ways, he reminds me of Jimmy Smith. I remember seeing footage of Jimmy Smith 3 or 4 times, explaining things to young DBs. One time he was explaining something to a coach, and it was like the level of awareness that he has. And he said something that I think kind of applies to this situation. I forget who he wasn't actually dressed. He wasn't actually playing. He was in street clothes, talking about Jimmy Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to a young corner. I'm not exactly sure who it was. And it was a heavy personnel situation. And he said something like, hey, if they're in 22 personnel, even though we're bringing this stunt, talking about the stunt that's occurring up front, the linebackers, D-line, et cetera,
mm-hmm.
every offensive line in the NFL is going to be able to block that up from 22 personnel. Mm-hmm. So you, as a DB, have to be willing to cede. He didn't say this, but it was something like you have to be willing to give up a 7 or a 9-yard catch and understand that they're going to be able to block this up. That receiver is going to have time to get down the field. The quarterback's going to have time to throw it. I forget what team we were playing and what the quote was. He actually had 2 or 3 times where he was talking to people like that on the sideline, and like a Wired episode would pick it up or something like that. Marlon reminds me of that, not from the standpoint of Marlon explaining it to someone. I suspect that Marlon on the sideline is probably like in another realm, but he has that level of awareness during the play.
Well,
and it manifests itself like this.
It's interesting. I remember particularly Jimmy Smith coaching Marlon early. I remember seeing footage of that. And it was press. He was talking about press coverage and jamming guys at the line of scrimmage, but he was all up in Marlon's ear. No question about it. So it wouldn't surprise me if those conversations similar to that were held that you're describing between he and Marlon.
He's one of my favorite Ravens, Jimmy Smith, and Marlon is too. He changed our 2024 season 2 or 3 or even 4 times. And, the last 2 weeks, Starks has 2 turnovers, and so does Marlon. Those guys are giving us those game-changing plays.